What's up, guys? Welcome to BitCast episode 53 for the week of March 11th, 2018. I'm your host, Jake Martin, and in the studio this week, we got a whole slew of individuals here with us. We got, on my left here, BitCast newcomer, Landry Smith.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Hey, dude, you are so welcome. On my right, we got Matt Intemann.
Hey.
And Michael Carrillo.
Hello.
Oh, man. We got a full cast here, guys. And last time we talked about the Oscars, so we've been on a kick of like movies lately. And I want to apologize to everyone that is a video game person. But we're back. We got a whole bunch of news focused around Nintendo, and I'm real excited about it. But first, we do all the house cleaning stuff. So today, of course, like I said, we're talking about relevant news, but also the Nintendo Direct that happened on March 8th. And there was a whole bunch of good stuff that happened there. So I am very excited about that. But then also, just quick housekeeping, make sure to follow us on BitBloggist at either Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Leave reviews if you want to. I really appreciate that. We'll leave them on, or read them off on the show. Matt loves reading those things off, man. It's like his favorite pastime.
Yep.
Like every day you go through those reviews and read them, right?
I live for it, yeah.
He loves it. Freaking can't get enough of it. And then if you would, submit topics. Landry, you, I think, are one of the first or second person to ever submit a topic to the show.
What a title to have.
And look at him now.
and he's on the show. So it was like
you could be here too.
It was one of the best days ever when I saw that topic come in. So yeah, please do that. We'll read off your name, obviously, and we'll talk about it. And it's just fun delving into those ideas. So I guess next, drink of the show. You might have noticed here we have a few mixed bags, but Michael Carrillo is rocking a nice box wine over there.
Ooh, classy.
Yeah, you had to make us all look less classy. I appreciate that. But so like I said, we're talking about the news, and we have a lot to cover. So the last thing I want to talk about is what's everyone playing right now? Starting with Landry, what's the most recent thing you've been playing?
Okay, so I just finished Celeste, and I gotta say,
Oh yeah.
that is probably, I'll be shocked if that's not on my Game of the Year discussion at the end of the year. It is so good. It was so much better than I thought it was going to be. I'm not a fan of like those just crazy hard platformers like Super Meat Boy, but that game just kept giving and giving and giving, and I've really enjoyed my time with it.
Is that on the Switch?
It is on the Switch. I believe it's on just about every platform you can get your hands on. I played on the Switch.
Okay. How much is it? Like $20?
It's $19.99,
Okay.
and eShop exclusive on the Switch. I'm not sure if there's a physical release out for other systems, but I played on the Switch. I played it TV mode only, Pro controller. It's perfect.
Wow.
But
Perfect.
if you play with the Joy-Con, I played for like 2 seconds.
It doesn't work.
Can't do it.
It doesn't
Wouldn't
work.
recommend that at all.
Okay.
It's really, really
You
intense.
have to have like proper joystick control in that game, or else it is just terrible.
Well, the
Precision is
controls are
key.
very reminiscent of Towerfall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah, same developer as Towerfall, but like with the difficulty of like Super Meat Boy. So you kind of take those two control combinations, and it is rough if you're not playing with the correct controller.
I'm sold.
I'm in. Yeah.
No, really, you really guys got to try it out. If you want to borrow my Switch, you just pick it up, put it in your dock, and good to go.
All right.
That should be Nintendo's new slogan.
Maybe.
Just weirdly misconstrued.
Just put it in your dock, bro.
Yeah. Yikes. It's fine.
I've been playing the same. So a little bit of Celeste here and there, the Kirby Star Allies demo. So we talked about this a little bit before we got on the show. Matt, I know you're a big fan of it. Mm-hmm. I'm not totally sold on it just yet because we talked about this, like the difficulty of these games is not always there. And this game, I just felt like I loved the visuals. I loved the new mechanics of like different movesets with each character you could like power you could get. But it was just real easy. Like I was like plowing through every single enemy on there.
I think they're going to do that for a demo, though. You know what I mean? I think that they don't want to turn anybody away by an overly difficult demo. There's no way that they would do that.
But they had a hard mode, so that's what they had the easy mode, and I was like, okay, easy, like this is pretty easy. And then I was hoping the hard mode would be like really difficult.
Yeah.
And it was about the same difficulty, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, there wasn't much variance between the hard and easy levels.
Yeah, just the easy mode told you which buttons to press in the beginning.
But it is hard to give like just a small slice of a game and like call it the hard mode. I'm sure like there's a lot leading up to that. That's probably difficult. Like I don't know what a full level even looks like really. So I'm interested still, and like we just talked about this. Like I think it'd be a fun Let's Play session because it is co-op. You know, we could play together, and I don't know what the co-op would be though. For like,
I played with my brother, and
so what does like the other person do if you're controlling Kirby?
You take on the role of the enemy. that you like friend.
Oh,
So
that's
you
cool.
play as the actual sword guy, play as the actual.
Be Boomerang Man or
Is
something.
it up to 4-player?
I don't know.
It is.
I
It
think
is?
so.
Oh,
Yes.
sweet.
Okay.
Four player.
So real chaotic.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the four-player platformer. Like
Super
just
Mario
everybody's
Bros.
bumping into each other.
Gosh,
love
I
it.
hate
Yeah.
that. I hate that
It
so
might
much.
actually play to its advantage because it's so slow that like everybody can be on screen. It's not super chaotic. So I think 4 players would be really fun.
It
in
makes more
Kirby.
sense for that than I think like when they did with Mario, where like you like Super Mario World. Is that what it's called?
3D World.
3 Worlds.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. Sorry. Where basically like everyone could play as one character, but they're running all over the place. They would like hold the camera back if they weren't up with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could throw them off the edge, all kinds of stuff. So I was just like, eh.
Oh, the ability to pick up a player and throw them off to the edge? Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah,
I love
genius. Yeah, great game. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
How about you, Matt? What you gaming on right now?
Yeah, so I played the demo like 4 or 5 times because I loved it, and then I went and played what was it called, Superstar on the SNES, right?
Right.
To get a comparison
Yeah, and it's so hard. It is so hard.
compared to Star Allies.
Well, compared to the little demo, but based on, I mean, I thought
The little
64 was super easy. I guess the Game Boy Advance games are pretty easy too. I mean, Kirby's just a pretty easy franchise.
It's
as a
never
whole.
been difficult. Yeah.
No, but I thought some of the later, I guess, game modes in Superstar were actually kind of tough.
I do remember dying. I played that recently, probably about 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah.
First Kirby game, other than Canvas Curse, that I'd ever played.
Okay.
I do remember recording some deaths, especially I think there's like a treasure chest game or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
and
yeah.
That was the one that was giving me a little trouble. It was also the most fun
Yeah.
game that I found in that package.
Yeah, you find like all the different treasure and rack up your gold and stuff, and but then the Meta Knight level where you have a time limit is really tough too. I mean, it's like you're racing through this thing, and I died a lot. But
I died a lot.
So pretty much just playing that and playing a little Overwatch as always.
Dude, Overwatch, that was the most fun that I've had with Overwatch in a long time.
Yeah.
Because I've been against Overwatch because I just don't like how there's no real reward for progressing. Like, the more you play that game, you don't really like get anything for it. It's like, hey, good job. You get some skins that don't do anything for you.
But
It's
the
like,
destination was the
cool.
journey the whole time.
You're right. Wow, so deep, so deep. All right, how about you, Mike?
I've actually been playing Monster Hunter World.
Really?
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah, remember you texted me.
Yeah. No, I mean, I absolutely love it. I found out about it online. First off, you have a Palico. You have a cat friend.
Yeah, you have a cat friend.
duh, I'm in. But no, I mean, it's been a ton of fun. It's got a very interesting like challenge curve to it. So like you've got to work on the weapon that you choose. I think there's like 16 weapons or something like that you can choose from. So dual blades, you've got buff weapons. It's like a horn that plays melodies to give people buffs that are around you. Just all kinds of.
But
really
you
fun
can't actually hurt anybody with that?
Oh no, you can. It's like
Oh.
a giant hammer that you can
Oh,
just swing
okay,
and
okay.
bash the monsters. But
So that game looks so interesting to me because it's everything that I like, but the only downside is the amount of time that it might take. How have you seen, like...
I mean, I've put a lot of time into it, but I'm also once again a completionist. I love
Yeah.
going through. I get an armor set that I want. Like, oh, well, I need these different parts, and I'm not guaranteed to pick them up every time I kill the monster. So I've got to kill that monster like 7 times. So I'll just do that over and over and over again.
Wow.
So I love it. I think it's fun.
It does look really... Like something that I would just love. Because, like, in the co-op aspect, like...
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I've
Yep.
got friends who are in Nashville that I play with.
Okay, I was going to
Yeah,
say...
it's great.
Having, like, a squad of regular people to go through games like that is just so fun.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably why Overwatch was fun, because we were all playing together.
Yeah.
I like, most times that I played Overwatch has been by myself, and I'm just like, this isn't fun.
Yeah, it's not always a good
I'm not
time.
talking to anybody.
It's just wild to me that franchise has been mostly like a Japanese hit for Capcom, and they've just exploded over here in the West with that game. And I've never played one before, but I've heard that it's got like a really steep like access point. Like I've almost considered it like Dark Souls, where you have to invest so many hours just to really get into the game. Is it a lot more accessible than prior games?
Yeah,
of the
it's
series?
definitely way more accessible from what I've been told. I never played any of the ones before this, but I didn't have a hard time picking it up and just diving straight in. So
Nice.
The more you know. Well, there you have it, guys. Those are the games we're playing. And like I said, we have a bunch of news to cover. So we're going to jump right into this and start covering the news. We'll be right back. And we're back. That's my thing, man.
Sorry.
You can't do that.
It was a reflex. I'm sorry.
All right, so we are back, and we have a few news topics to go over. We haven't talked about gaming news in 2 weeks, so there's a bunch of stuff that actually happened that I think is very important to cover, and I put some of these on here. But most recently, the number one thing right here we have on our list is Trump shifting violence with a gun specifically towards video games, violent video games. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. Landry and I were talking about it a second ago, but like they had a quick compilation of like the worst video games that have like the worst cases of video game violence, and just showing that. So like no context for like what was the story was before that, why this person was being axed in the face and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so they were using this like with like the ESA and a few execs from like I think like Ubisoft.
I think the ESRB was there.
Yeah, ESRB was there.
I can't remember the name of the company that's the parent company of Bethesda, but he was there.
Activision or Blizzard?
Maybe.
No, Activision would be the head company of.
Yeah.
No, not
I think it's
Bethesda.
like
No,
Zenimark or
I'm wrong.
something,
I'm
but
wrong.
I can't remember what exactly their name is. But
So basically, this I don't know. I just want to know what y'all thought about this. Like, do you think that violence in video games correlates with this kind of
100%.
stuff? Yeah.
I don't think anyone really does. I mean, this has been going on for like 25 years. I think just every single year it gets more ridiculous when people try to bring it back to.
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I remember Mortal Kombat in like 1994, and
Yeah.
this was a
Oh,
huge
yeah.
thing then. And then every 3 or 4 years, it seems like something in politics comes up where it just becomes a hot topic for a little bit. But I don't think anybody is going to make a move to like take away violent video games from us. So
No.
And like I know YouTube isn't like a great representation, but that video, the White House actually put that video on YouTube.
Yep.
And it has like 85,000 downvotes and like 2,000 upvotes. I mean, yeah, it's like, I know YouTube probably skews pretty young, but still, it's like nobody really. I think like there's been so many studies done on it too.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's never been conclusive that any kind of video game violence causes any more violent actions on people.
It's kind of like coincidence a lot of times. It's like, oh, okay, he played video games too. Like a lot of guys his age did. It's just like
exactly.
It didn't drive anybody to do anything violent.
It is interesting though, because with like the I don't know, the arrival of digital entertainment and like how far we've come since like the Super Nintendo or the Nintendo, like what was possible. I mean, really realistic graphics weren't a thing until the Xbox like 360 generation for the most part. There was earlier instances that were pretty impressive, but for the most part, like now there's a lot of things that you can do in games that are very like I mean, if you look at like GTA, like in what you can do in that game, like especially with like the first person mode, that was one thing that was like really interesting is they put that first person mode in after the game had been out for like a year or two, and people's like reaction to that was the fact like if it's different if you're a third person, you're not actually this person doing these terrible things in this game.
Yeah.
But as soon as you jump into the first person mode and you're running around just shooting people in the streets and running over them, like it is a weirder feeling. You're like,
Well, then
I
you
don't.
add VR to that. I mean,
Yeah.
where does that leave you?
And then it's just full blown, just
Yeah.
craziness. So I also am on the side of like, no, this doesn't correlate. Like a lot of it has to do with, obviously the child's upbringing and like what they've seen modeled in their lives. But if your parent isn't a part of your life and all you have is video games, like, I don't know, maybe there's an argument for it, but it all comes back down to freedom of like speech and being able to create what you want to create. And if you want to make a super friendly, kid-friendly game, you can do that. If you want to make a super violent, M-rated game, you can do that as well. And I don't think it's ever going to change.
No, I mean, it's all media regardless. I mean, you have the same rating scales for video games that you do for movies. Like, it's not going to change.
That's a good point. Like, bring up movies, yeah.
Well, and we probably all grew up playing some form of violent video game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I played the early GTA games, and I'm mostly okay.
Yeah. I've got some weird aggression issues that I don't want to talk about, but yeah, we're fine. But related to this, so senators in Rhode Island are planning on taxing violent video games, like having a higher tax rate for violent video games. How do I feel about that?
I mean, I haven't heard about that. I mean,
I saw that it was like a 10% tax added on to what the initial tax was. So it's pretty.
It's a pretty
substantial.
significant tax.
It's a pretty small state, so they can just skip the state line and go purchase somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's like you guys aren't that important. Sorry, but it is interesting because I don't know. You look at other industries that this has happened to, where like cigarettes get taxed a lot higher because I don't know, they don't want people to smoke cigarettes. They're bad for you. So I think they're trying to take that same logic and apply it to video games. They're like, oh, we think this is bad for you, so let's just tax this higher, and maybe it'll ward off people from buying violent video games.
And that's if this even got any bigger than Rhode Island.
And it won't even. I don't think it'll pass.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever but it would suck to see developers discouraged from making M-rated content. You know,
because I mean, everyone should have the freedom to be able to create what they want to create. You know, I'm not much of an art appreciator, but I do understand. Like, I think a good friend of Kyle Wood, he gave me a good stern talking to about what is art, and I learned a lot that day.
What is art?
Yeah, because I had a few thoughts, but just quick story. Person hung up carpet on a wall from like their apartment, and it was art. And I was like, that's dumb. And he was like, well, you might think it's dumb, but somebody else might not think it's dumb. And that's art. And I was like, I hate you. I can't argue that. So next on the list, Division. So this is like this week, a lot of like announcements happened, and like they tried sneaking some things in here. So Division 2 got announced, and this one kind of caught me by surprise, mainly because Division was a cool game. I don't know did anybody here play the Division?
I did not. Nope.
No? Okay. So it wasn't a phenomenal game. Like, when it was first marketed, they were pushing like cutting edge graphics and just this amazing story and all this kind of stuff. And when you got into it, it was pretty shallow. It was not as bad as No Man's Sky, but it was kind of a bummer. So when people got in there, they're like, well, this isn't exactly what I was expecting it to be, but this is cool. So Division 2 got announced. I don't know if there's a release date, but no further details until E3 2018. So just kind of a interesting little thing there. But I love Ubisoft. You know, they do a good job, and I love that they're supporting the Switch. So anytime they announce something, I'm like, good for you guys. Keep doing that. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 got announced. I'm not a big Call of Duty guy, so not really. I'm not the audience for this, but it is worth noting. Black Ops specifically was like one of the last ones that I played, actually, but we're getting that on October 12th. So, anybody here going to pick that up
on the Switch?
No, it's not going to be on Switch. That actually is one thing that there's nothing about the Switch for this. It's just PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Oh, nice.
Interesting.
Which is probably a good foresight into what the Switch is going to look like. We're probably not going to get big blockbuster shooters, but that's fine. I didn't buy the Switch expecting that, so that's okay. And then on the list next, we have Fortnite Battle Royale coming to mobile. I don't know if anybody here has played Fortnite. I know, Matt, you have.
Yeah.
Michael?
No. I haven't played it. No, I downloaded it the other night, but haven't gotten around to it.
You should jump on with us sometime. It's extremely frustrating.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
I'll have to give it a go.
Do you have PS4?
I do.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we'll
can
play sometime. It's I don't know. It's not the best.
It is. So it's a cultural phenomenon. There's like so PUBG happened first, this battle royale mode, which is a really interesting story because Epic, the people that make Fortnite, they also make their engine, the Unreal Engine, and so PUBG uses that engine, or at the Epic engine. I forget what the name of the actual engine is, and I think maybe it was like a year later, Epic they'd already made Fortnite as more of a base building like survival game. But they're like, we can just make this, battle royale mode and just do that and see how popular it gets for free. And you can see where it is now.
Yeah.
It's like the #1 stream game on Twitch. Like anybody that starts streaming it, they just skyrocket towards like streamers and like people like following them and subscribers and stuff like that. So it is interesting, but like on mobile is where I don't know. I mean, they're probably just trying to like saturate as many people as they can with this game.
Yeah, but I did read that they're like pretty heavily pushing that this is going to be a complete like just as good as it is on the consoles. It's gonna be cross-platform with PS4 and PC, but no Xbox, which is pretty big news.
What? Interesting.
But, I mean, I don't know if that's a PlayStation thing or not, but I know Epic has worked closely with PlayStation in the past. But
it could be because PUBG is on Xbox and not on PlayStation.
That might be, yeah.
Interesting.
Getting a little jab there, a little jab in.
But the cross-platform thing, that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But I mean, I don't see the momentum for Fortnite stopping anytime soon. With the jump to iOS, it's gonna be huge.
And I've never seen this before, like a big, shooting or like a competitive multiplayer game on phones.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can't aim on the PS4,
Yeah.
so I can't imagine what it's going to be like.
Playing that on your phone just sounds terrible.
No idea how that button mapping is going to work out. But.
Yeah.
Either way, I guess like the inventory will be nice. Inventory management, like just pushing the different buttons on the screen will be nice, but
I just
aiming and shooting just sounds like a nightmare. I don't know.
I wonder if you're going to see like Bluetooth controllers coming out soon.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because like with the popularity of the Switch, you might see more of this kind of like mobile gaming with controllers.
Dang, dude. Well, and phones are at a point now where they're powerful enough to be able to handle some of these games. And Fortnite is not a graphically intensive game by any stretch.
But I mean, the trailer looked good. I mean,
that's crazy. Well, there you go, guys. So I don't.
Are they going to charge for that version?
It's going to be free also.
Gosh, that's crazy.
So they're just putting it anywhere they can.
I guess I'll try it.
And they make money because of microtransactions.
Not from me.
Not from you. Not from you. And then the last little not Nintendo Direct news segment we have is about the Switch still. So sorry, but they helped capture 22% of the games market in 2017, which is pretty cool to think about. The article I can pull up, but if you think about the different percentages that are out there, you have PS4, which is like the largest gaming audience for console at least. Then you have PC, which I'm sure makes up the majority of that audience, and then Xbox, which is like the smallest segment, and then I guess handheld or like 3DS. But this is where it gets kind of weird because Switch is that hybrid console where it is handheld and it is a home console, so it kind of attributes for two categories. But nonetheless, excited to see Switch doing well, and
it's good to see Nintendo back at it again.
I know, man. And with this Direct, I'm feeling pretty confident that 2018 will be just about as good as 2017.
It's going to be a good year.
So without further ado, we're going to jump into the main topic of the show, which is the Nintendo Direct that was on March 8th, 2018. Be right back. And we're back. You didn't do that time.
I know. You told me not to.
Well, you can do it again. It's fine.
All right, fine.
Do what you want to do, man. I'm just messing with the mic levels. Yeah, if you're watching the video, sorry if I'm just awkwardly glancing to the right down here every now and then. I'm fixing the audio, making sure we sound good. We're not doing it live, so no one can tell us we sound terrible also, which is hard. So, the Nintendo Direct happened on March 8th, and to be honest, I did not expect this many, all these announcements to come out of this. I knew it was 30 minutes focused on games, but I was just like, okay, we'll see what this looks like. And you sent me that little bingo sheet beforehand of potential announcements. Yeah. And I was like, this, we'll see. I'm cautiously optimistic. And it delivered. I think for the most part, this is a pretty fantastic, Direct. And I like this. I like this a bit more, knowing that E3 is going to have a little bit more news that we're missing from this one. But we can kind of just roll through these in order of, I think, how they were announced. They might not be, but I put these in order of 3DS and then Switch. So first game got announced, and this is all 3DS stuff, WarioWare Gold, which is like an amalgamation of 300 WarioWare games over the course of that franchise's history. And looks pretty good, but again, this is the common complaint that I think we're going to see for all these games is I wish it was on Switch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, my one thing with the WarioWare games is it's so much fun to play with others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you don't really play your 3DS with other people very often. It just
doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't.
And I think in Japan that might be different, but here in the United States, you don't see that often. We don't ride the train to work all the time. We don't have time to just sit down and play 3DS with each other. So I don't know. When this got announced, I'm glad to see WarioWare back.
Yeah.
Are you gonna pick anybody that's 3DS? Y'all
probably get it.
Interested by this? Okay.
Something pretty fun you can actually do with WarioWare that I did on a plane one time is you can pass the system back and forth, kind of like
nice.
Hot Potato, in between the games you can play, and the games only last 3 seconds, and then you throw it back and forth.
It's pretty
and
hectic.
Faster and faster. It's pretty fun.
That sounds awesome.
So I'll
games
probably
are
pick
hilarious.
it up. I love
I
WarioWare.
just really enjoyed it. I was so mad that wasn't on Switch just because oh man, I love that series so much.
Landry made the same mistake as me of selling his 3DS too early.
Yeah, it was a terrible decision. I constantly regret it. But.
There's not a day I don't wake up and just have regret in my heart.
Fortunately, they're only $100 now, so one of these days I'll buy one again.
But it's always like that dollar purchase staring me down where I'm like, is it worth $100 plus the game price to play
So
one or
true.
2 games. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it is. I don't know if it is.
You can borrow Metroid though if you want.
once I get a 3DS.
All right.
When you get bored of your 3DS, I'll just
Not
borrow.
gonna happen.
I'll just borrow it for a month or 2. So that comes out August 3rd. And again, this is kind of cool because they are like Nintendo. I predicted a while ago that when the Switch came out, like after about a year, the 3DS would die, and they're not letting it die. So more stuff's coming to it. Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers, which is I forget the other series. Dylan's
Rolling Western.
Thank you, Rolling Western. These games are good. They're well made. It's Nintendo first party. They just love this little armadillo. But for the most part, again, this is another game where I'm just like, yeah, it's cool, but I would rather have it on Switch, if anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not.
I don't know anything about it, so
Yeah.
Well, we can read the blurb here. The latest entry in the Dylan's Rolling Western series allows its titular characters to team up with your Mii, who can join your team as gunners. A demo for the game will be available on May 10th.
It's
Is it like a platformer?
It's like a tower defense
No.
game
Yeah, tower
and
defense.
like action game as well. It's really interesting. I played Rolling Western. I think I got it a Nintendo Rewards game for free one year.
Oh, nice.
I played it for like 5 minutes. It was the character design is really great. It kind of looks like SteamWorld Dig, if y'all ever seen that.
Yes,
Like that kinda
that's
like
what I always get it mixed up
steampunk,
with.
Steampunk aesthetic, but it just I don't know. Other than like the character design, it didn't really reach out to me. The gameplay never really spoke to me. So they keep making these games, so they must be selling a little bit. But I'm not sure who they're selling to because I don't know anyone who's ever played one. So
We're always just confused when they come out. We're like, why is this a game that we're getting still?
You're gonna put them in Smash, and everyone's gonna be like, "What the?"
yeah, he's an assist trophy. In
Yeah, he's
Smash
an assist
Brothers.
trophy in Smash.
I didn't know
Wii
that.
U and 3DS. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So there's his claim to fame, an assist trophy in Smash Brothers. Getting his own 3DS title. Up next, this is actually this is cool. Mario and Luigi's Bowser's Inside Story plus Bowser Jr.'s Journey. Little alliteration there. Pretty exciting stuff. This game was actually very good. I don't know if you guys had a chance to play Inside Story, but it was actually pretty dope.
I can't remember which one of the Mario and Luigi games I did play, but I love it because it's almost like a harkening back to the Mario RPG.
Paper Mario or Mario RPG.
Yeah, so.
It's very funny. Yeah, RPG style, like, it's turn-based where you're fighting another enemy. You level up. But as these have come along, they've kind of gone away still from the traditional, I like Super Mario RPG more than these games because of, I don't know. Square also helped develop that one. So for me, I'm just like, okay, I can see the influence here in this. And Paper Mario also, like the original one and then the one on GameCube were phenomenal as well. And since then, that series has kind of died off. But this is cool. If you guys never got a chance to play it, I mean, I would recommend checking it out because it actually was a pretty cool game. Cool. Sorry, got a burp real quick. Last one on the list was actually, again, probably the one that I was most upset that was not on Switch.
This one hurt.
Yeah, it makes
I
no
was
sense.
like, what are
why
you doing?
Wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you put it on Switch?
So Luigi's Mansion, the original for GameCube, is coming out in 2018 sometime. So this is weird to me because we had the sequel to Luigi's Mansion on 3DS,
Right.
which was actually really great.
Which is probably why they decided to put this one on there, because most people, like this newer generation, is going to be familiar with Luigi's Mansion through the 3DS.
Yeah.
So they're going to be like instant buy on this original.
So it makes sense for that reason, but my thing is you released a game that was better from all standpoints. Like, it had some RPG elements, it was longer, it had like a few different mansions to explore.
Had multiplayer, didn't it?
And this one's like the first version of that, which is like way shorter and like not as good mechanics probably. And it's like,
they might beef it up a little bit.
I'm sure they will. Yeah, remake them. I mean, they're gonna have to. Otherwise, it's gonna be such a letdown. Coming off of Dark Moon, which I thought was just a fantastic game.
Yeah.
that was so cool being able to play like Luigi's Mansion on 3DS. I remember like when
Absolutely.
that came out, I was like, this is great. Like, this is really cool. So
I'm so excited about this. I mean, this
Yeah.
is the first GameCube game I ever owned, so like I'm so excited to play it again.
was it a launch title
It
for
was,
GameCube?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So that makes
That's
sense.
why everybody hated it because it wasn't Mario.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
This isn't Mario. He's just walking on the vacuum. But it really, I don't know. Yeah, that game has a lot of character, which is fun. You know, it was definitely unique. So that's all the 3DS stuff, which, you know, compared to the Switch list is pretty weak. But
also surprising.
Surprising
that
that
we even
there's-
got that. Yeah.
and these are like pretty good titles. I mean, beyond Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers, everything else is pretty cool. Like WarioWare, Mario and Luigi, and Luigi's Mansion are
Yeah,
pretty big
solid.
titles. And I'm sure we'll get some smaller, just random third-party ones throughout the year. But that's all Nintendo had to offer. So, up next, Switch news. The first one on the list, I don't know I don't know if this is first, but this is what I have on here. Okami HD Switch. Big fan of this game. Finally got a chance to start playing it. I bought the HD remaster on PS4, so unfortunately, I'm not going to buy it again on Switch.
Yeah.
But no, this is cool. I mean, if you like Zelda games, or Zelda-esque games, I feel like it would make so much sense on the Switch though, because of like the touch controls and what the Joy-Cons can do. Yeah, apparently it's you can use Joy-Con motion controls in tabletop mode or TV mode.
Cool.
And I'm not sure exactly what that's going to do, but I imagine that's like draw probably. So that'll be pretty cool.
I remember playing this on PS2, and the one thing I hated about it was trying to use the analog sticks to draw. All the paint brushing, it was terrible. It never controlled well, but this will be good. I did not rebuy it, so
I played it on the Wii for the first time, and and the controls worked pretty well. For
on the Wii it makes sense because you draw on the screen. So it's weird that the Switch has motion controls that you can, but they're not really official motion controls. Like it has a sensor in it that it can tell where you're moving it, but there's no IR sensor reading where you are standing in relation to the TV. So like, it's just hoping that the motions you make with your wrist are pretty accurate to like what the shape is supposed to be on the screen. So I'm a little nervous about that. So that's cool. That'll be coming summer 2018. We got some more Dark Souls news, and I love this. I loved the little amiibo, the Praise the Sun amiibo. I thought that was so funny. But this is cool just seeing a M-rated, like, pretty intense game, like, difficult game on a Nintendo platform. You know, in the Wii U, I think we might have had, like, 2 titles that were similar to this, if that.
Yeah, similar, I don't know, but yeah. Third party, maybe.
Yeah.
But what is the Praise the Sun thing? I've never played the Dark Souls game.
So I actually don't even know how to explain this either, but it's an emote you can do in the actual game. Like you can do specific emotes and you can equip them to your character, and one of them is Praise the Sun, and it's like I think there might have been a quest associated with it where like you go to this like weird like guild or clan and there's a Praise the Sun thing that they all do, but you can get that as an emote, and your guy just stands and does this. Praise the Sun.
Very nice.
And you can do that in the middle of like a very serious and dark, like graphic game. Your guy's just standing there doing this the entire time. It's like, all right. So that's, and like just the fact that that's an amiibo now is just like hilarious to me.
That is fantastic. Yeah. I may actually pick this up. I just started playing Bloodborne.
Dude, so good.
PlayStation Plus
so good.
Games for this month are Ratchet and Clank and Bloodborne, which are awesome games.
We need to talk about that stuff more. Like, I didn't know that. Like,
really?
I forgot about PS
Dude,
Plus.
BitBloggist posted about it, dog. Come on, man.
I need to subscribe.
But
Bloodborne's been fantastic. I just went through the first section of the game, and I've never played any of the Souls games or Bloodborne, and I mean, it's extremely difficult.
Yeah.
I never look up strategy guides for things. Typically, I won't let myself do it, but everybody psyched me out so much about the difficulty level. I started off with a strategy guide on this one just to get through it. And I mean, it's still extremely hard, but it's very rewarding. So
yeah, it is. That game, like the secret is you have to be okay to die. That's it. I mean, like literally, once you realize that dying is how you kind of progress and level up every single time. I'm like, okay, so if I die, I'll have all these souls that I can put into my character and get stronger and get better things. And once you find a weapon that you just love, like, I don't know, you learn how to use them and you just wreck people. It's like there's like no better feeling than like overcoming the enemy that killed you like 16 times.
Right.
And then you meet another enemy that's going to kill you 16 more times, and you finally beat it, and you're like, yes, I am amazing.
Well, that sounds awesome. And it looks pretty good, too, so far, the footage they've shown. So I'm excited to play that one.
Yeah. And then Ratchet and Clank is just a phenomenal game. Yeah, if you have a PS4, just pick that up. It's just so pretty, too. It looks like a Pixar movie. This next one, I'm not sure if this is one that I think...
The game everyone was asking for.
Oh, yeah.
You've all been waiting for it. Sushi Striker, The Way of the Sushido, coming June 8th. So let's read this real quick, actually. Sushi Striker, The Way of the Sushido is a fast-paced action game where you match colored plates and types of sushi to hurl tall stacks of plates at your opponent. It features an online multiplayer mode. In addition, it is set to launch on Switch and 3DS. That's all I have to say about that, really.
Hey, we laugh, but Battle Chef Brigade last year was an awesome indie game, and I never would have thought that game was great. It's like a match 3 puzzle game, like super anime style. It kind of looks like a Miyazaki film. I don't know if y'all.
Ooh, you
nice.
sold me
Okay.
there.
Yeah,
You sold me
the
there.
art style's phenomenal. The story is really great, and then they've got like these action RPG elements to the game too. It's so much more than I thought it was going to be, but. I don't know. I'm not necessarily stoked about Sushi Striker, but Battle Chef Brigade caught me last
You never
year.
know. This could
You
be
don't
the
like
next one.
Sushi Striker, dog? Come on. This game like reminds me. Anytime I see sushi in a video game, especially on a Nintendo platform, all I think of is the Pokemon Stadium, like Lickitung game.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I
And
had forgotten about that completely.
yeah, we can play it after this if you want to. I still have it. Don't
I'm
worry.
in, I'm in.
So that's coming out. Get excited. But the next one that actually I am really excited for is Octopath Traveler.
Has everyone played the demo?
Yes.
I love it.
I have
me
not.
too.
I have not played it. Everyone's played it.
Man.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
awesome.
I'm slacking.
It's so good.
I know it's a game that I'll love. I just
I don't know that you actually, if you're going to play it, you don't have to play the demo.
No.
It's just making your way through an RPG. You're not going to have any progress saved on, but the art
Ugh, it's
style
the
is
worst.
phenomenal.
It's
Oh,
incredible.
Yeah, gorgeous game.
It's just, I mean, we've seen all these 16-bit and 8-bit remasters, but nothing in that 32-bit art style that actually holds up, which a lot of those games are terrible and disgusting to look at these days. But that has like just that fantastic look, nostalgic, like the Final Fantasy series, Wild Arms, all those.
Oh yeah.
It looks great.
Yeah, I'm excited about this, and it actually got an official. It was Project Octopath Traveler, and they just pulled away Project, and so now it's just Octopath Traveler.
Yeah.
And I think that has to do with there's 8 people you
8
can play
characters,
as.
8 storylines.
And they
Different-
eventually all merge to one or
Yeah,
whatever. But
different gerbs.
still, I think it's a terrible name for a game.
No.
I think it's awful. But the game has been really fun to play on the demo, so I'm in.
And I'm glad that they stuck with this title, just because from a branding standpoint, like you can't announce a game with like a random title and then change the title later.
Yeah,
Yeah, good point.
It was a terrible name for a game until 1 million people downloaded the demo, and then it was at that point it was like, oh no,
I guess this is the
what we're
name
going
then.
with.
Well, we're stuck with Octopath Traveler.
Exactly.
So that comes out July 13th, and all these games actually we had mentioned that May 25th for Dark Souls, June 8th for Sushi Striker, and July 13th for Octopath Traveler. I just Sushi Striker every time I say it, I'm just gonna laugh. I'm sorry.
Game of the year.
So we got some more news or just some actual gameplay footage now for Travis Strikes Again: No More Heroes, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I have not played this game, so I can't really say much to it. Does this look like what you played in the past?
So I'm a little bit nervous about how they're breaking up the gameplay into like 8 different games. I think it could just be like, I think 4 of them could suck.
It looks like mini games almost.
Wait, I said 8. I don't even know if that's right.
It
I'm just
could
thinking
be.
about Octo.
I'm gonna bring it closer to you, but it could be like mini games. I'm not exactly sure.
I
Yeah,
actually want to say I think they said it was more than 8.
more than 8.
Yeah, like there's quite a few.
Like different worlds you can go into, right?
But
then-
are they all like different games that he's playing?
Pretty much.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
and they all have different gameplay styles. So it looked like there was like a racing game. I don't know. It looked like there still was that story aspect and that like adventure mode.
Right.
The first 2 games were great, but I just hope that they don't try to do too much and like make a shallow experience, I guess.
It could be like pretty fresh though to have different games to go through, sort of. You know
I hope so.
how? I mean, it's like Kingdom Hearts is kind of a series that does this randomly too, where you'll be playing and it's a traditional RPG, but then they throw in like light bike races every now and then, and like a bunch of random
Yeah.
other like weird worlds you have to kind of adhere to those rules that you're in. So I don't know. I've never played one, so this looks way different than what I had seen on the Wii.
Yeah. So hopefully they stick to that core gameplay, but then I mean it could turn out really well. I've no idea.
Or terrible.
It could suck.
Could be bad.
Yeah.
Who knows?
We'll see.
All I know is that anything that's come out in Switch so far has at least been good, if not like very impressive. You know, like at least like these bigger titles, like first party stuff that's come out. Like ARMS is probably the only one that like it was good, but it was not impressive.
What about 1-2 Switch?
Is this a first party title? Suda51 and his game company are they?
I don't know if they're
Nintendo?
first party, but they were exclusive to Nintendo.
Right.
Yeah.
So for me, like that kind of like stays in line with a bunch of other games that are kind of like that. And like for me, like so when I'm thinking of like Rayman plus or Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, third party but still Nintendo developed, I was like, this is very, very good. So
for sure.
I'm up for surprises.
Yeah.
I'm optimistic on this one. It looks fun. So that comes that's to be decided on 2018 when that comes out. But again, this looks like it's co-op as well, which I'm that'll be kind of fun to play.
That could be fun, yeah.
This one, people were obsessed with this game. I want to know where you all stand. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
I mean, I'm kind of surprised that it's a game at all. Personally, I mean, like the only experience I have with it, granted, is the mini game inside of 3D World for Mario. So I never actually sat down and played the game itself.
Yeah,
and it could be very fun. The mini game was just kind of like, okay, this is the thing I have to get through. I'll just do it.
Quick little puzzle box.
But I mean, like, this is what, the third one of these? Like,
so this is the remake of the Wii U version
because no one played it.
I played it.
So anyone that had a Wii U probably played this game because it was like one of the only few good titles on the Wii U. It's kind of a shallow game. It is kind of like what you're talking about, where it is that experience from 3D World where you are Toad, you can't jump, and you are just spinning a puzzle around to try and solve these puzzles. It is unique. And like there are some like brain twisters here and there. Where you're like, oh, okay, like I have to do this first and hold this and then make him walk over here. It just I don't know. This is a game that I'm not.
Would you recommend?
Doesn't.
I would buy this game for $30.
Okay.
It's not like an extremely compelling experience, and I'm concerned on how they're going to translate this over without the Wii U gamepad, because you really need a touch screen to play this game on the Wii U.
So I guess just only handheld.
Right.
Yeah, maybe, but I think they sold it for $39.99 on the Wii U. But a lot of the ports that they've been making, like I know Donkey Kong Country, is it? Yeah.
Well, some are $60. That just depends.
Yeah, making that jump up to 60. So we'll see what happens. But I know there's some added content from Metro Kingdom, from Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, Super Mario Odyssey content.
Which looks pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, they were really fun games, but I'm not rushing out to get this one, to be honest, or replay this one rather, because I've already played it. But
Yeah,
it's like it's an in and out experience. Like you can play this for a little bit, and you don't feel compelled to stick with it and like keep playing. We're like like Mario Odyssey or a couple other games. Like I'm gonna just go find the next move. I'm gonna go do this.
Yeah.
This one you're like, yeah, I'm gonna finish a level, and I've kind of experienced the rest of this game. So that comes out July 13th. There's also a 3DS version that's coming alongside with this, which is interesting. Again, more and more 3DS support. This next one is very exciting. I don't know if you guys have heard of this game or not. Undertale. And we didn't hear anything really about this. It was just literally a picture, and it just said coming eventually.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a great release trailer. It's so fantastic. I thought it was hilarious.
But it is. I've just heard a lot of good things about this game. It's got a compelling story. It's like actually very like heartwarming and endearing, and it'll hit you in the feels. That's what they call it on the forums.
Yeah, I can't wait whenever it comes out.
This is what I love about the Switch though, is like every developer is now seeing the added benefit of Switch. They're like, people can take my game on the go, and especially for indie developers where they're just like, oh, this is a perfect fit. Like literally, any indie game makes sense on the Switch at this point, because they're not graphically intensive, or like they aren't going to take a bunch of memory up. So it's like, here you go, here's the game.
Yeah.
And so we're getting a whole bunch of really good PC ports I'm excited about. Okay. This is one that I think is a bigger deal than people are not talking about. So Crash Bandicoot is coming to Nintendo platforms, which I don't know, that just blows my mind.
Yeah. Oh, same. Like if I had a list of things I was expecting out of the Direct, that was nowhere near the list. Like I was not expecting it at all.
I can't believe it. So I had heard rumors of this happening, and I was like, there's no way. It's been Sony this entire time. Naughty Dog, they're synonymous. They just kind of hang on to their IPs because Sony doesn't have a lot of IP.
Yeah.
They have all those old 3D platformers they had back in the day, like Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, Sly Cooper, stuff like that. But Crash was like their original one. Like he was the one that was standing outside like the Nintendo headquarters, like making fun of Mario. And now he's on a Nintendo platform. And I'm like, that is crazy.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about this at the end, but like this, I feel like this is going to foreshadow another game.
Yeah.
that
I had the same thought. Yeah.
That
I
got
cannot believe
announced.
that's not come up yet so far. But
Yeah, I'm proud of us all for not talking about that.
Naughty Dog is like my personal favorite developer. I love them. I love
They're
the
so talented.
trajectory that they have from Crash Bandicoot all the way up to The Last of Us and the Uncharted series. And
Oh, yeah.
it's so cool to see this game, like you said, like those old advertisements with Crash Bandicoot, like just like kind of like rivaling Mario. And then when they came into that 3D platforming space, just kind of handling it different, but also having two really great games and really great series. It's so cool to see them on a Nintendo platform. That's mind-boggling.
It's crazy. So like I want to know how this conversation happened. How like Naughty Dog. I mean, I don't know who owns the rights of the assets.
Activision owns Crash Bandicoot
Yes,
now.
Activision owns Crash Bandicoot. That's right. So that's probably why it was greenlit. Activision was just like, yeah, we own it and we want more money. So we think it'd be more successful on a platform where there's, synonymy with colorful platforming games. So we'll just put it
it'll
over
fit
there.
right in, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
But also, this could be a business venture for a little game we call Smash Bros.
Oh,
Yeah.
There it is. But first, we'll go through these last few ones. Little Nightmares. Crash Bandicoot comes out July 10th, which is sooner than I thought as well. Again, it just shows how easy it is to port games to the Switch, I think.
Yeah.
The architecture is pretty similar, it appears, to be able to put it on there, so that's cool. Little Nightmares, which apparently is actually a very good horror game, if you guys are into those. I heard somebody else on a podcast talk about this game, but it is definitely a scary game. So Matt, I know you and I are not scary game fans, but I've heard good things about it. It's kind of like a weird like claymation style.
Oh yeah, no, the trailer looks horrifying.
Yeah.
Of like when he's on the table, like crawling away from all the gigantic, like lardy fat, like it's horrifying.
That was
Yeah.
I'll pick this one up and tell you how it is. This is right up my alley. So,
So you're a big horror game fan?
not necessarily a big horror game fan, but I love that art style, that kind of like Tim Burton-esque. I just think it's really great. So I will pick it up. And I heard this game come up last year at like Game of the Year conversations a lot, just as a nominee and a bunch of different things. So
For like art direction or just for story or
story, art direction. I'm pretty sure it picked up a couple nominations at the Game Awards. But
that's awesome. Because for everyone that I've heard talk about this game, like it's not a game that I would like because again I don't like scary games. The scariest game I played is Resident Evil 7, and that was terrible. It was a nightmare to get through.
I haven't done that yet.
But it was fun. I had fun playing it. And that's the upside of horror games. If you play them with somebody, they're fun. But I can't play them by myself. I'm too weak. So that comes out May 18th. And again, it's just good to see if you look at this whole list of stuff that's coming out, there's just such a good variety of different experiences that you can have on here. Like you have M-rated games, you have like really scary games, you have Nintendo classic stuff, and super violent like Travis Strikes Again stuff. So I don't know. This is just a good time to be a Nintendo fan. Again, talking about variety, South Park: The Fractured Butthole. It was really funny hearing the Nintendo guy.
Right? Like I'm just baffled that this was even on there. Like I could see them making an announcement just on the side being like, "Oh, yeah, by the way, this is coming."
Yeah.
We're not going to say the title of it or anything about it, but
They
it's
gave
coming.
it time.
Do your own
They
research.
did.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah.
Blows my mind.
They gave it
Absolutely
time.
blows my mind. But I mean, that also harkens back to Dark Souls being on there as well. I mean, I think Nintendo's trying to break down the stereotype of being like the family friendly, like all kids are just going to play this.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be. We might get some really interesting stuff coming in the future.
And it comes back to our initial news topic, just about like violence in video games, and to have this variety of games on a traditionally family friendly console. Nintendo's saying, yeah, we're not going to try and protect your kids. That's not our responsibility. Like that's up to the parents to let your kids game on what they want to game on. And obviously, we don't think that playing a game like Little Nightmares or South Park is good for your 10-year-old.
Yeah, right.
So as long as they can figure out parental controls, they should be okay.
Yeah.
But that comes out April 24th, and I'm excited about that. I think I will actually pick that up. I've heard good things about it. It's like a light RPG, and that's kind of the RPGs I like to get into. I'm still playing Persona 5, which is just so good, but I cannot beat that game. It just takes so long. It's like 80. It's like 80 hours.
I've been playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2 for
Oh gosh,
3-4 months now. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'll probably be playing it about 3-4 months.
I stopped.
future.
Did you really? Like I was like, it's just so much.
Yeah,
It just
it's
keeps
so
going.
incredibly
It's-
obtuse.
Oh, and it's gorgeous. Like
It is.
It's a lot of fun, but yeah, I stopped.
it's just that is a like JRPG to the fullest.
Oh,
Like, it really is.
100%.
Just grind city, like just crazy monsters out there. I mean, it is kind of like Monster Hunter in a way, but just way more intense. Okay, and then I guess up next there was just this is kind of just giving them props for supporting ARMS, but there's an ARMS US and Canada online open tournament that you guys can join in. Anybody can join in on.
Are you gonna play?
No, I am not.
You're saying anyone can join. We don't have the game.
Yeah,
You're the only
I
one
have
with
it.
the game.
Well, I don't care to join, man. I mean, like I'm not good at the game, and
I've got it. You can have my copy. I haven't turned that on in about 7 months, and I probably won't ever again.
which is sad because like the game, like they put so much love into this and they really care about it. They're trying to support it, but like you can just the writing's on the wall. Like this is probably the last time we'll see something about ARMS because I think they announced that like they were done doing DLC updates for ARMS as well. So it'll be Splatoon getting updates for a little while, and I think we'll see that die off as well. But it's just, yeah. This was like probably the least exciting part of this entire thing. I was like, okay, cool, yep.
I feel like with ARMS, yeah, they did put a lot of love in it with the character design and everything, but I feel like Nintendo kind of broke their own rule with they start with the gameplay and make it great, and then like everything falls into place after that. They just built it off a gimmick pretty much. Like, okay, these are Joy-Con. Let's make a game around the Joy-Con, and like it didn't have the gameplay depth that like Nintendo's known for.
They seem to be willing to break that rule whenever they have motion controls involved. I don't know what it is, but
oh man, sorry, it brings me back to Twilight Princess on the Wii.
What with the motion controls they added? Still a great game. Though.
Oh, yeah,
so
for
good, but I would have rather played that on the GameCube probably. Yeah.
Oh yeah, right.
I mean, literally, this is what I was doing the entire time when I was trying to fight like Ganon. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna beat him, yeah. So let's see that. Yeah, that's May 18th. I'm sorry, not May 18th. March 18th is when that tournament's happening. So that is in 6 days.
Wow.
Top 8 players from these preliminary rounds will move on to an online finals on March 31st. So that's cool. Maybe I should try. Maybe we should just try to get on and just see how bad I am, how badly I get beat. But it'd be kind
could
of
win
funny.
yourself a trip to the Nintendo of America headquarters.
That would be pretty gangster, but
No question.
that's definitely not going to happen. I have not played that game in months. So if I get on and I'm able to beat a whole bunch of people and make it to that just goes to show how poorly that game is designed. It's like it's like I just swinging my arms around hitting people. I'm not doing anything special here. And then Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, we got some more news on that. We had already known this was coming to Switch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big Muso style game fan, but this is cool. I
liked it on the Wii U. I had a lot of fun with it.
Okay. Yeah, I do want to play it because I haven't played it yet, but since this is like the definitive edition with all the characters, like I just love Zelda so much. Like even if I'm not crazy about the gameplay, just the amount of characters you can play.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm sure they'll stick with a lot of the same stuff from the Wii U version. And I mean, it was a lot of fun to play. I mostly played it with a friend, like pretty much the entire time. So yeah,
that's what I've heard with like there's a lot like fan service. I mean, you can play a whole bunch of different characters across the series.
Yeah.
Which is cool. You know,
I'll probably check it out.
just whooping somebody's ass as like Zelda or something like that. It's cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, and what's more fun than just like walking into a field and crushing like 500 people with one swing? I mean, it's fun.
I am so powerful. So that comes out May 18th. And again, this is kind of outlining Nintendo's entire year, just in terms of what we have coming. And I really do think that there's going to be a lot more of the heavy hitters announced at E3. Like this is like, hey, here's like some pretty cool titles to get y'all excited. That's going to fill in these months. But really, you guys are all waiting for Pokemon and Smash Bros. And Metroid probably, yeah. So Mario Tennis Aces, which Landry, you and I were talking about this. Pretty excited to jump in on this game now that I've seen some more of it.
I am too. It looks really complex and it looks like the systems are pretty great. I'm a little worried about that Joy-Con like power shot where you just kind of have to like aim and choose a spot on the court that looks a little complex. But I think it's gonna be pretty good. The last Mario Tennis game was awful. I don't know if y'all picked that up on Wii U.
I read the reviews and I saw how bad it was, and I was like, I can't.
There was
I can't
literally
do it.
one stadium you could play in. You couldn't move out of it at all. It was just like, I mean, they knew the Wii U was failing. I think they put that game together in about 6 months, maybe less than that. And we're just like,
Let's
here
just
you go.
use the same engine from Mario 3D World and just puke something out.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it felt like. So it's kind of a slap in the face, but this one looks like they put their time into it.
Yeah.
Single player campaign. That looks pretty cool.
Excited about that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about those Camelot sports games.
You can play normal mode too. Like that's what kind of sold me on it. I was like, okay, I'm not forced to play this weird janky mode where like you have power ups and like one hit kills and you can break the person's racket. Like you can just play regular competitive tennis as well. And I was like, okay, I'm excited about that because like you don't need much else to make it a competitive game. Because like I mean, even the one on the N64 is like super competitive because there's strategy. Like okay, you have 2 or 3 different shots. You have like a flat shot, a top spin shot, and a backspin shot, and that's pretty much or a lob.
Well, it'd be like if they forced you to play with items on in Smash Bros.
Yeah,
you know,
that's exactly what it
is.
is.
Much fun. It's good to have the option, but like most serious players want to play without the cheap stuff.
And I'm more of a competitive player when it comes to certain games. So for me, it's like I need this option. And with the other one, it just looks so like just over the top. Like you could turn giant and you're as big as the court, and it's just. Oh man, just a lot of bad moves there. So this looks really great. Very excited about this. June 22nd, and I think the part that's not really talked about here is like being able to play on 2 different Switches like in the same room. Like that'll be so cool. I think.
Yeah.
Just being able to take this on the road to a friend's house and play tennis with them on your own Switch on theirs. It's gonna be so good. Can't wait. So June 22nd for that guy, and then the last announcement before the big dot that got revealed. Splatoon 2. We had a whole bunch of just showtime for this.
Oh yeah.
And I remember talking to you, Matt, and I was like, I'm gonna be a little disappointed if we get more Splatoon DLC. And when I said DLC, I specifically meant like what they've always been releasing, which is a new map and some new guns and like maybe some new outfits. I'm like, okay, I really don't.
Yeah.
That's not going to get me back into this game.
Right. But this is a totally different thing.
Yeah. So they have that. Like, there's going to be some more DLC stuff they're bringing to the game, new weapons, and those things come out all the time. But this DLC looks really great. I don't know. It's something Octa.
I think it's just the Octo expansion.
Okay. I think, did they say it's the year of the Octo? The year of the Octo?
They did, yeah.
Year of the Octo or the Octopus? I don't know. I don't know what
you
it
just
is.
said Octo. That crazy guy in the little
trench, the lab coat.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy. Spencer was watching part of that with me, and he was like, who is this guy? And I was like, oh man, like he's been here from day one. Like,
I was gonna say, is it the same guy that was at the E3 announcements?
That guy is goofy as
That
all
was
get out.
so awkward.
Really is.
He loves it, yeah, and it's always awkward whenever he's on there. It's like, oh, this is painful, but you love it, so go
It's
for
like
it.
we've been hard at work in the labs,
Yeah.
cooking up new.
studying new aquatic creatures. It's like, all right, man. Yep, we get it. It's Splatoon. So the expansion will be $20, which you were like, oh, the DLC looks cool, but the $20 price point. So I know Splatoon is huge in Japan. It is just like totally influenced by like Japanese culture and like the type of music they have in the game and the fashion and all this kind of stuff. So I think it makes sense. But for me, again, like it's a game that I haven't really jumped back into probably in a few months. So I don't know. I guess it all comes down to how good this DLC is. So
it said that there's going to be 80 facilities that you can go through, which sounds like a pretty beefy expansion for $20. I mean, if it's a single player campaign with 80 more missions, I mean, I don't know what facilities means. That was a kind of a vague term to throw out there, but that seems pretty intense. So I'm kind of excited about this. I think that Splatoon 2's single player and Splatoon single player had a lot of room for, they could really flesh those concepts out. Like, I love the controls of that game, but I'm excited to see what they do with it. So I think it could be great.
yeah, kind of running like Mario Galaxy.
Exactly.
A little bit. Yeah. There was. I was actually very impressed with the single player. I was like, this is more than I thought it was going to be. Because when you play like predominantly online multiplayer games, especially like shooters, the single player campaigns are usually not very good or like really short. But this one was actually like pretty lengthy. So, and I know people were like really shooting for that octopus kind of aesthetic. They wanted the octopus hair. So there you go. You got it now. Get excited, guys. Oh boy. And last but most definitely not least. So I got a little story to tell you guys. This announcement was ruined for me. Michael, you warned me.
I did. I told you.
You were kind, and you texted me and just said yes, and I was like, "What's he texting me yes about?" And then you said, "Have you watched the Nintendo Direct?" And you were kind to ask that first.
Yeah.
And I was like, "No," and you were like so shocked.
Yeah, I was like, okay, first off, you didn't watch it immediately. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't watch it live.
Yeah,
so
I texted you
I'm kind of
too,
upset.
right? Yeah.
I got home immediately and started cooking, so like I just didn't even have time to
Dude,
watch
you
it.
need to get your priorities.
I know. So I hadn't watched it yet, and then we had people coming over that night.
Oh, okay.
And Spencer walks in the door. First thing he says to me, he's like, "Dude, have you seen the Smash trailer yet?" And I was like, "You son of a!"
I cooked for you.
However, I did have some like idea that this might get shown here, so I wasn't like distraught. But the way that it got announced was really cool, and he told me, he's like, "I'm sorry I ruined this for you." Because so it starts off with like, the Inklings just battling. So we just came from the Splatoon announcement, and you're like, okay, cool, more Splatoon. Like I don't really care, and they're battling out, and then it gets dark. And then, man, just such a hype reveal, dude. Just the red glow in the background, and then you see the reflection of the Smash logo in her eye, and you're like, it's here. So that was just, I don't know what y'all thought about that. I just thought it was so cool. Fun.
I loved every second of it. Like I was watching it live. I was at work. I just stopped working, just watch the entire thing. And that moment, that's like the moment where you watch it and like all the hair stands up. You're like, oh man, this is it. Like, yeah, I was totally in.
Oh man, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I miss this game so much. Like, I haven't had my Wii U for a little bit, but I miss playing Smash.
Yeah.
Bad.
Same. I haven't had my Wii U in about a year now, and it's just I love that game. I played it all the way up until I sold my Wii U, and I was really hoping we'd get a Smash port sooner rather than later. But and that's another topic, whether this is a port or not. But just the reveal trailers alone for Smash Brothers, historically, they're so great.
So
You
good.
can
Yeah.
look them up on YouTube, like back to back. They're always so hype. I love them.
The Smash, my favorite reveal one was for Brawl. Even though that game was not great,
It was great.
Leading,
It was really good.
Yeah, it was super good.
leading up to the release, like they had like every single day there was like a new item or a new character or like a new stage, and so like I just loved that.
They had the whole dojo leading up to it.
The
Yeah, it was
Smash
great.
Dojo.
Dude, how can you say Brawl was not great?
It wasn't a good game.
Oh come on, Brawl was great.
Explain
it was
why
a little slower.
Explain why it wasn't a good
mechanically.
game, Jake.
It just wasn't. It wasn't tight. Like it wasn't competitive to me. I know people can make it competitive, but like for me, it's about like chaining combos and figuring out like different strategies for characters. Where like that game, it relied a lot on just hitting the person once and hoping that they died. Like
Once.
I mean, literally, that's what it was. Like you would hit someone, they would fly off the stage, but they'd come back in slowly, like float down, and then
I guess it was super floaty.
they'd like jump and dodge you for a while, and you just hoped you got to hit them again. And then like the bananas or like tripping
And the
stuff,
random
the
tripping,
and
yeah.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. Just like it wasn't designed from a tight like competitive standpoint. It was like, hey, we want more people that haven't played Smash to come in here and enjoy this and feel like they can compete. And for me, I'm like, I don't want that. But all in all, like just I'm really excited. Like we've been talking about Smash like every single time we talk about the Switch. I feel like
Yeah, and it's finally coming.
it's finally coming. And I think we should actually delve into that topic a bit more. First thing I want to ask is, do you guys think this actually is going to be a true like new Switch or a Smash game, or do you think it's going to be a port of the one on Wii U?
I think it's going to be new. I've got a hunch just the way they have announced any of the ports from the other games. It's been like, everyone enjoyed it on this, and now we're going to be able to play it on the Switch. Like, this is not like that at all. Also, the idea that they're adding new characters first off, which they would have to do anyway, but adding new characters and changing the complete style of Link with completely different potential for, Breath of the
Movesets.
Wild style. Like, I really think it's going to be new.
Ancient arrows. And
Yeah, exactly.
all kinds of stuff that he has in the game. Yeah, that's ooh. The Breath of the Wild is actually what sells me more on this being a new game than the Inklings, because the Inklings you could look at and just be like, that's just a DLC add-on that they can probably bring to the game if they want to.
Yeah,
because they already have the assets for it. But with the Link, That is like a whole new character. That is a.
But there's
It
no
could
way,
be a whole new character.
There's no way that this game was built from the ground up. Like it has to be built off the back of Smash 4.
Which is totally fine with
Which
me.
is
I
totally
hope they
fine,
do
yeah.
that.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I hope they do that because that game was perfect in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
all it needs is more. I mean, I'd like some additional like single player content.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of nice.
That
And the
would be.
menu system is just so ridiculous in that game.
It's really confusing. Yeah.
It is. It is. But I mean, other than that, I mean, it was pretty flawless as far as the mechanics of the actual gameplay go. And yeah, a couple new characters. Maybe switch it up a little bit. I know it's gonna be hard.
Switch it up.
Not pun not intended. But yeah, I'd be awesome to see Cloud back, but I know it's gonna be hard to keep all those characters in. But still, switch it up. Give me Shovel Knight. I want Shovel Knight so bad in Smash Brothers.
So that's where I think I'm kind of. At first, I was like sold on this just being a port of Smash Wii U, and I heard someone say this on a podcast. They're like, it could be like the Wii U assets, but they add more content to it. Like it could be a new story mode. It could be new characters. Obviously, we can still get more DLC. Nintendo's figured out how to do that. So, like, and again, I'd be totally okay with that because where Brawl was not a like tight and like competitive game, this one was. Like Wii U was. I loved playing online. Like that was like my favorite part about that. Like just playing somebody else one-on-one online. Like that's all I like to do most of the time. So like I do that for hours, man. It's just so much fun. So for me, that plus also these new characters we're getting introduced to, like Arms, like they're a shoe-in for this Smash.
Shoe-in.
Yeah, they're a shoe-in. For how much they care about
True, yeah.
Arms.
They're
how
going
much-
to force
how
us
much
to
they-
play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just makes sense. I mean, they're already fighting in that game. It's like, why not just put them in Smash Bros? It's like the same movesets almost.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
And then also, Shovel Knight, and the weird one that I'm gonna throw it out there, Crash Bandicoot.
Oh yeah.
I think it could happen. I think it could. I don't think it's super likely, but it could happen.
If we got Snake in a Smash, anything's possible. That's kind of how I look at it. I'm just like, if we got this weird side character in here, like I feel like we could probably get another third party person in there.
Yeah.
And now that it's on a Nintendo platform, there's nothing really holding it back. Anybody else you guys like can think of that you would want to see on there?
I mean, I've always wanted Ridley or more Metroid characters, but I kind of doubt it. I think that ship has sailed.
Just a Metroid. Just fight as a
Just
Metroid.
let me play as a Metroid, yeah. That'd be fine.
So yeah, we don't know when this is coming, but we know it's 2018. I imagine we'll probably get a release date at E3.
Oh
and
yeah.
probably
so.
some more gameplay footage and what this game is going to look like.
I mean, it could even be playable, theoretically, right?
It might be their like one big game at the show that the past 2 years has been like Zelda and Mario's all that their E3 booth presentation has been. So that might be what they do this time.
I hope so. That and then we can talk, and this is the last part of this whole show. This is only really missing just a few things. I think from an overall standpoint of like what I was expecting, this was great. I mean, a lot of good stuff announced and talked about, and they really gave us some release dates for what we were looking for in 2018. But I really, Metroid Prime, we didn't see it all, which makes me a little bit nervous about it still being a 2018 game, seeing as how we haven't seen anything else beyond a picture and the logo, and then also Pokemon.
Yeah.
So
Where they at?
Yeah, where are they at?
Yeah. Well, the rumors were that it's going to be 2018, but I really bank on it being 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I don't think it'll be this year.
early
It'd be awesome if it was.
early 2019. And like those are games, well, Metroid Prime 4, like I could see them fitting into this year maybe. Maybe they're just doing a good job of hiding it, but Pokemon's a game you don't want to rush out, especially with it being its first actual RPG debut on a Nintendo console.
Yeah.
Because like that's a big deal. That's some big shoes to fill there.
It's huge, and it's going to make so much money for them.
Yeah.
When they do put it out, it doesn't matter. They could put that on January 1st or what like just the most absurd release date, and it was going to crush. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could put it out on the same day as like Red Dead Redemption, and it would still do way better. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Is there anything else you guys wanted to mention about this like direct? I mean, that's.
I guess I didn't know anything about it going into it, so it completely exceeded my expectations. Usually I'm so bored during directs. I'm like, okay, I do not care about this game at all. And then every third game is like, okay, that's all right. But I was so into this one, and like I was very, very pleasantly surprised.
Especially as Sushi Dough.
Especially.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it delivered on a lot of the things that I was looking for, especially Smash Brothers. I mean, I wish we had gotten some Pokemon news, but I know they typically do their own direct, so I knew it was a long shot, but
That is true. I didn't think about that. They do their own.
yeah, usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, Smash Brothers. I mean, it's hard to be displeased with that. That's a huge reveal. I mean, I thought it was a really great direct, and I love the format they've been playing with the past like year or two with these directs. Just kind of get them out quick and fast, and don't mess around with any of the weird like puppet stuff they did like 3 or 4 years ago.
I kind of like that stuff though.
It was kind of nice.
I like that dorky stuff, man.
It was kind of endearing. I'll give it that. But
Yeah.
these like fast-paced style, it's just nice to kind of get it quick done and over with. So I liked it. I really wanted cloud saves though. And that's the one thing I'm just like terrified my Switch is gonna crap on me, and I'm gonna lose my 999 moons, my 100% Zelda file. I poured like so much time into this.
You got the Koroks?
No.
Oh, okay.
Never mind.
I was
Sorry.
yeah. I said
128 shrines and then all
Yeah.
the DLC. I like got the bike.
Yeah.
It's funny how Zelda has turned into like a walking simulator for me now. I'll just hop on the bike and like cruise around and pick up Korok seeds. It's like
it is so
relaxing.
cathartic. It is great. Like once I got the motorcycle, I was like, because I hadn't been back in that game in probably 4 or 5 months. And I got that motorcycle, and I was like, this game is beautiful, man. Just
yeah.
driving around, just the music. I'm just up on this mountain, just going down it real fast.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Because you can just warp to any place and spawn your bike, and you can just go straight down the mountain. So, a lot of fun. Yeah, I don't know. It's I think really other than that, this yeah, I like what you're talking about, where it is back to back announcements. There's not a lot of awkward airtime in between, except for the Splatoon guy, where he talks for a little bit. But really, it is like I forget the Nintendo head right now. I forget his name. I should know this. But basically, I love how he kind of jumps in, says, "Hey, welcome. We're going to talk about these few things," and boom, bye. And he bows, and then first video comes up. Then it shows you to the next video what it's going to be about. It shows you. So like, yeah, they've really gotten the format down for these release things. And compared to E3, where you have all these really awkward like stage people come out and they just like botch lines all the time, or someone's like just like wasted up there and they're just like say something really stupid, and you're like, all right, get off the stage.
The demos are like glitching out.
Yeah,
and it's just
things just break. They can control all this stuff. They show what they want to show, and they're done. And it's just like 30 minutes. They make it on their own time. So, yeah, Nintendo, in terms of getting the presentation stuff, they've just come such a long way. But again, we don't know. Yeah, like the cloud save stuff is scary for me as well, because I'm working towards those 990. I'm at 880 now, and I'm just like, I'd be so sad if this thing just my file just got corrupted or didn't work anymore. I was like, I wouldn't go back. I'd be like, I'm done. I'm not gonna do it again. So I think that's it, guys. I think that covers it. So yeah, let us know what you thought about the direct. What you're most excited for, and maybe we didn't list something off here that you would like to see announced at E3 or anything time later in the year. But that is the end of our podcast. Remember, BitCast is a weekly podcast that covers most things video games and pop culture. I've been your host, Jake Martin. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
In this nice toasty room. Landry, thank you for the Hutton and Smith beers. Yeah, brought to you by Hutton and Smith. Sorry about that. We didn't sponsor that show. Make sure to follow us on BitBloggist on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and go to our webpage if you want to just submit topics there. And we also have all of our recent podcasts and videos uploaded there for all of your concept. What's the word? All of your consuming? Nah, that doesn't really sound very good. I don't like that.
Consumption?
Yeah, consumption. Thank you very much. Send emails to bitcast@bitbloggist.com to have your topic read off on the show. Until next time, this has been BitCast. Thanks for tuning in. Let's talk about some stuff.